Appreciate your thoughts. Well, let's get back to discussing a couple of stocks with Dipan Mehta. Dipan, I'm not sure whether you track TTK Health. If you observe the price action of the last few days, last 5 sessions, I think, or so, I'll just ask my director to pull that up. The stock has gained close to 17 to around 18% or thereabouts. And now overnight, you have news that they could be considering a delisting offer, on the 20th of April. Last 1 month, in fact, it's up close to 40%. Good on my director, pulling up a wider time frame. Dipan, any view on this one? TTK Health. Let's pull up the 5-day chart first. I think it's still up close to around 15% or thereabouts. What's your take, Dipan, on TTK Health? Do you track this one?
See, Nigel, I think TTK Health has been a very old company, long listing history, and many times in the past I have bought the stock only to be disappointed. It's been around for a long time, that too in segments which have got high growth potential. And yet it has underperformed its peer group and never really lived up to its true potential. The stock price has been generally flat over the past several years or so. And maybe it's moved up now because a marquee investor has taken a stake in it. And certainly news of delisting may have interested a lot of arbitrageurs as well as traders over there. From a fundamental perspective, I'm sorry, I don't track the stock, but I do know that its track record has been very patchy. So keeping that in mind, I've always avoided it. And I feel that there are better choices in the FMCG space, which have delivered far greater value in the past and have a better perhaps business model as well. So TTK Prestige is amalgamation of many small divisions, but none of them have really kicked off and scaled up to the levels which one can expect them to.
Okay, the other thing I wanted to discuss with you was Macrotech Developers numbers, which just came out a while back and very interesting. I mean, of course, the base is high. Same time last year, you had record numbers, but pre-sales are actually down 12%. The collections have barely grown about 3%. And if you look at the market now, the Mumbai market, there's actually some signs of a slowdown in the real estate market, in terms of prices at least. What is your sense?
See, Sonia, we have to understand that the real estate business is very cyclical. And while there may be a major upcycle underway, a multi-year upcycle, there are going to be minor setbacks from time to time and minor corrections in prices and volumes from time to time. There's a degree of regulation. The tax effect also comes into play over here. Launch of products, at what price point, all of these have a factor. But there's no denying the fact that Macrotech Developers is a very strong player. Balance sheet quality is phenomenal. The ability to execute and deliver products and projects has been well established, and they're a very good brand, especially in Mumbai and Western region. Corrections, in my opinion, because of such bad news, as you said just now, so-called tepid sales, are good opportunities from long-term investment perspective. One should expect perhaps slightly better disclosure. Corporate governance is always a risk factor as far as listed companies are concerned. But that notwithstanding, I think it's a good stock to track and buy at corrections because of the consolidation which has taken place. The choices available for the consumer and for the investor in the real estate space have dwindled considerably.
Dipan, one name which comes to mind, again, not tracked very much, but it's part of the marquee Max Group, Max Ventures. I think now being renamed Max Estates, was up 13-14% yesterday. Any thoughts? You track it? It's North based, not Mumbai based, unlike Lodha. But they're getting aggressively into residential, etc. But mostly in commercial, but getting into residential in a big way.
See, Prashant, in many years which I have tracked the real estate space, it's always better to go with the largest players over there and the companies which have got a good track record, which have managed the balance sheet better, and have good selection as far as projects are concerned. Keeping that in mind, I like to go with DLF, Godrej Properties, Macrotech, Shobha, Prestige. That's about it. I think going a bit down the line is always a bit risky because if you look at the 15, 20, 30-year history of real estate stocks that have been listed, there have been many stocks which have imploded when the cycle turns negative. So one needs to be a bit careful. And as I said, I think it's better to go with the larger players because they have a more diversified and de-risked business model, and that does provide comfort.
Okay, I have to ask you also about Cholamandalam because the numbers were very, very strong and it could be one of the big stocks. in focus this morning, but I have to take a short break as well. So I'll give you some time to think over it, Dipan. We'll come back from the break. We'll tell you what's lined up in the next half hour of the show. We'll bring you the top stock ideas for the day from our technical and F&O experts. At 9:10, Nimesh will be there with the standout brokerage report of the day. And before the market opens, CNBC-TV18 Stock Board, we will highlight the top stocks in the news to focus on for the day.